Hello, and welcome to another film talk where I just talk about movies because why not? This next one is actually it's a trilogy of movies. I think you know based off of the title. It's the Dark Knight Trilogy. Yeah, this is the Blu-ray. I have them all individually. They're on another shelf, and I have it again on DVD, as well as this, as well as the Ultimate Collector's Edition. But I just thought, why not just show this one? Yeah, I just grabbed it for this talking, and basically, Batman is my favorite superhero. No, some don't find him or don't consider him to be a superhero. I do, because he does super things without superpowers. To me, he uses his brain a lot more because when the other superhero, like Superman has all these superpowers that when he trains himself how to use them, he knows how to probably do it, as well as being able to be. He has super strength and was like invincible, except he has kryptonite. That's his weakness. Batman is a human, and the fact that he outsmarts his enemies and villains and is able to has gadgets and Batmobile and all the good stuff with Batman that everyone knows. He basically is able to do a lot for being just a man. And to me, the Dark Knight trilogy is my favorite movies of Batman. I know some people aren't huge fans. A good portion of those people don't like the fact Batman is grounded in reality, like a realistic setting. And really, after Batman and Robin, which is not liked by Batman fans, or even comic book fans, or even fans of movies in general, really. Most people, if not all, dislike that film. Really, if you're really young, I think you would like it, but as you get older, not so much. That was me. When I was young, I really liked Batman and Robin. That was my favorite movie, or Batman movie. I was 3 when it came out, so probably 3, 4, 5, maybe 6. But after a few years, I lost interest in that movie, and then I watched the Tim Burton films more, the Adam West TV show and movie. And if I ever watched Joe Schumacher Batman, it was mostly Batman Forever, not Batman and Robin. And I was kind of wondering for a while, up until Batman Begins, of me liking Batman and Robin decreased. I was kind of wondering, why is it that I used to love this movie so much, and now I don't really like it. I mean, I'll watch it, but it just isn't the same. Batman Begins came out. I truly realized why. Batman and Robin blew ass. It was not good. Really, I think because of how much I liked that movie, I just was kind of puzzled as to, I don't like this movie now. Why? Or at least I don't like it as much as I used to. I used to love this movie, and now I don't really watch it. Batman Begins was amazing. Amazing for many reasons. One, it actually established or showed how Batman or Bruce Wayne became Batman. I just like that aspect. There are some people that say it is a very good movie, and yet that part of it, it just kind of slows down the pacing of Batman. It's like, yeah, we get it, your training and all that, but get to being Batman. They kind of wanted him to be Batman. I've seen some comments of that. I never minded it, but some people just want to see Batman. Bruce Wayne's fine. Great. We like Bruce Wayne, but please be your alter ego already, or your true self. Some people stand by Bruce Wayne has always really been Batman. He just needed it's only when his parents were murdered that he was trying to find himself, and he wanted to make sure, like, as he got older, nothing like this should ever happen again to anybody else. Trying to figure out what to do, who to be. I could be that person who's going to help people that need help. As he says in Batman Begins, put fear into those who prey on the fearful. I just love Batman Begins. And The Dark Knight came out 3 years later, and it was amazing. Just like Batman Begins, if story elevated a lot. It was amazing, and you really, it's like the story elevated a lot, and then the Joker is now in it. Batman Begins had Scarecrow and Ra's al Ghul. The Joker, after a little tease of Batman Begins, here we see the Joker, and he's played phenomenally by Heath Ledger. And then Harvey Dent is there as well, and just the conflict between Batman and the Joker was astounding and amazing. People have praised that a lot, and there's only so much you can delve into that people haven't really. I don't really think I can say anything that hasn't been said, but The Dark Knight is truly fantastic. And then to conclude it all, The Dark Knight Rises is just as excellent as the other two, if not more so. Yeah, Bane coming in, and Catwoman is there as well. I'm like, I was kind of wondering if Catwoman was ever going to show up in this series, or will they ever show Catwoman, or is that going to be like the character that you would think would show, but in the end never does? And they did, and Catwoman was done very well. Bane was done very well. I know some people have a problem with Bane because, you're not big and this and that, no venom. In a realistic world, or a realistic setting that Christopher Nolan and company created. I'm sorry, that would have been out of place. That would have felt out of place for me, and I think a lot of people would probably say that, even if they wanted like the comic book huge, bulked up, venomed out Bane. Let's be realistic with this. It's a realistic setting series, so having a huge bulking guy. Unless it's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Sylvester Stallone, which I don't know. I liked it. I liked Tom Hardy's Bane. I don't know. Like I think a big thing of that is they wanted the venom part. That mask and all that is to help, pain, because it's explained in the movie. Yeah. This trilogy is amazing. I love this series. When I say what I always say this is my favorite Batman series, and what my favorite Batman film is. I would just say all of this, just this. Because to me, it's like it's all one story. It's hard to pick out just one because I've come to know and learn that as time went by with each of these films, Batman Begins was my favorite Batman film all time, better than the Burton films, and to me. And I think the reason is because I just love this journey of Bruce Wayne. Finally, you get to see a Bruce Wayne story and how he deals with being Batman. Usually, it's like focus on Batman, and then Bruce Wayne's the facade. Where here, Bruce Wayne is not the mask. Batman is, and he kind of does try to make it like Batman is my true self, and yet I just liked how they made it like, no, Bruce Wayne is you. You are Bruce Wayne. You are a human. You are not invincible. The symbol of Batman, what you created, is even if you die, of all the good you do, Batman will be remembered. Good or bad, depending on who it is and how they viewed him. Because that was a thing, obviously, in the series, if you've seen the series. If not, you should watch these movies. Because even if you're not a comic book fan or a Batman fan, these are very good movies. My grandparents watched these movies, and my grandfather said, these movies would be like film noir if you turned off the color on these and watched them in black and white. This would be like film noir. And he said that to me. I'm like, yeah, I hadn't thought of that, but that's very true. Because they have very crime-like elements and detective-like stories. And that's another thing. People are like, Batman's not really a detective in this. He doesn't act like a detective. And at those same people that say that, it's like, because, he's the world's greatest detective. He doesn't really act like a detective. But these movies are more like crime detective movies. Or something like that. Like, people I've seen, comments and stuff like that, how he's not really a detective. And yet these films are more detective movies instead of superhero comic book movies. And yeah, I'm like, so since you see mostly Bruce Wayne Batman more than the other characters, this series is not really like a comic book movie. and Batman isn't really a detective. Like within the realistic setting, like you would think he would be more like a detective. But these movies are really like detective crime films. Yeah, all right. If some people are like that, that always puzzled me when they explained it like that, because I'm just like, it's kind of like a contradiction. But if it makes sense to you, okay, because I could try to explain the flaws of that logic, but I guess I'd be wasting my time. Yeah, I love this series. I love the acting and the story and stories, because really you could watch all these individually as films of their own, and yet watch them together and there's one big story. I know Christopher Nolan never really set out to make a trilogy of films, because he doesn't want to do that, because I guess in a way it's like it would just kind of like cut off, like, I guess, his creative freedom, or planning out a story. It's like, we have to get to this point because this is how it ends. And then within that, it's like, well, that wouldn't really fit here because we've already kind of established a story. While this would be cool, we can't really do this or that with Joker or Batman or Bane or anybody or anything that could possibly happen. They couldn't really do it. But these films are amazing. Christian Bale is my favorite Batman and Bruce Wayne. I really felt he was the first time. I think a big reason why I love his Batman is because his Batman and Bruce Wayne, it was the version of Batman, and in retrospective, subconsciously, I kind of wanted to see this Bruce Wayne on film, like reading the comics as a kid. And I watched the animated series, and the animated series is very good. But when I talk about favorite Batman, I don't really bring up Kevin Connery a lot. And I know some people might not like that or think that's odd. But I don't know. I just like live action more. I'm more of a film person, and yes, I like animated movies, but overall, I'm more into live action because that's just more of my thing. Animation is more other people's cup of tea of a regular basis, and I like animated films too. But I would probably go with a live action film over an animated one. I guess that's why. But really, his version of Batman, Christian Bale's, was the version I always really wanted to see on screen. I finally got to see the version I wanted, and then later on, I realized subconsciously I wanted that Bruce Wayne on screen, which I really didn't know until I rewatched all these films back to back. And this is a great series, great films. They're all tied as my favorite Batman movies because really they're all so good that I can't really choose. When each one came out, really, I'm like, that's the best Batman movie. Like Batman Begins, best Batman movie. Dark Knight, best Batman movie. Dark Knight Rises, best Batman movie. But after a few years, I kind of realized, like, I just love all three really equally. I can't really choose one. If I actually did, it would be because it's like, what's my of the trilogy? What would be the movie I would want to watch now? And it could always be different. So really, if I actually had to choose one, it would just depend on my mood for that particular day. guess if I watched one of them right now, I guess I want to watch Batman Begins. I haven't watched that in some time, so that would be fun to watch, and I'd enjoy it. At the moment, tomorrow it could change. But yeah. Also, another thing about how Nolan always never planned any sequels, because a lot of people are like, well, planned this Dark Knight. You didn't really plan the Dark Knight Rises because there's a lot of criticism for that. It's like, because here's the thing: when you have a film as big as The Dark Knight, nothing will ever truly live up to the hype of that movie. You hype yourself up, and some people deny it, but no, it's true. You hype yourself up for complete awesomeness with all these expectations, and really you can't really have any expectations except in a situation like The Dark Knight Rises, except for A, you hope it's good, and I think if it meets the level of being good, great. That way you can leave room for it to be even better than that. Just good at the very minimum. I hope it's good, and then because that was the last film of the series, you hope it was a very good conclusion. Like when you look back, it's like, I'm glad they ended it that way. Not just that film, but the entire trilogy. Because that really wraps everything up, and it's just amazing. And that's what I did. Before the theater, friends and I, we were together just talking. I guess because I was more of a bigger Batman fan than them. I mean, we all like Batman. But I guess they just looked at me when they said, "So what do you think it's good? How do you think it's gonna end?" They all looked at me, and I was just kind of like, I had all these things like, will he die? Will he live? And if so, how will he die? Or how will he live? Like, it'll probably be in a situation where he's about to die, and then how will he get out of it? And then I'm just like, you know what? I just want no expectations except for it to be good and to have a good ending to not this movie, but the entire trilogy. Because I guess, if you have I didn't say all this, but really if you have a good movie or a good ending to this type of film, it could be a good ending to the film, but I guess in retrospect for the whole trilogy, perhaps it could be like, I didn't like that they ended it like that. It should have ended some different way in order to be a proper ending to the trilogy, instead of just be like, look at them individually. Like, perfect ending for all three, but for the entire trilogy, terrible ending. I was just like, I just want this movie to be good, and how is it going to end? Like, it ends how it ends, and I just hope that ending is just as good as the entire film, because I don't really want any expectations, because otherwise I'll set myself up for disappointment. And because I left all these thoughts I had of what could happen, I went in with a complete open mind. I watched the movie and I enjoyed it for really what it was. I just loved it. Yeah, I love this series. I love all the acting in this trilogy and story. Christian Bale is my favorite Batman, and Bruce Wayne. I did see Batman versus Superman. That was all right. Wasn't great how some people are going on about it, but Ben Affleck was good. But I think the material he had was a little weak. Like, he could have had stronger material, but for what he had and what he had to go with, he was very good. I do hope to see more in depth with his Batman. Obviously, we're going to get that, but I hope that it is handled a little better. Not that it was handled terribly, but I don't know. I guess I want it just a little more fleshed out is what I want for his Batman. Yeah, that's all I really have to say right now. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you all next time.